Discovering infidelity is devastating. Living with someone where their loyalty towards you is in question is incredibly draining and confusing, as you're constantly overthinking and over analysing things. And then discovering infidelity is devastating. You have that sense of betrayal. It can trigger that betrayal trauma as your trust and your security has been shattered in that other person. When it comes to narcissistic people, not all narcissistic people will cheat on their partners. They will cheat their partners, their friends, their family out of their hopes, their dreams, their health, their wealth, their security. Not all of them will commit infidelity. However, and not all people who commit infidelity are narcissistic people. However, those who have that repeat pattern of behaviour are more likely to be narcissistic people. Those who have that envy of other people, who have that sense of entitlement, who lack the empathy to care about others, who believe that they are special, believe they're the bee's knees, they are the ones who are more likely to be narcissistic and more likely to cheat. So a few signs that your partner is cheating on you. And one of the first of those is you're looking for the signs because you just know that something isn't right. There's been a shift in some way. So your gut is just telling you that something isn't right. Now, when you've been betrayed in the past, it can be challenging to build trust again, or you can still be very trusting in others. So you might enter a relationship and something might just sort of trigger you. However, if you just go and speak to the person about it, a genuine person who isn't cheating on you would communicate openly and honestly with you and say, oh yeah, I was just here. And it would make sense. It would make complete sense. However, when it comes to a narcissist and you ask them, it doesn't make sense. You leave the conversation more confused, questioning and doubting who you are as a person rather than their actions behind your back. So another sign is their extreme selfishness. Narcissistic people are extremely selfish anyway because they lack the empathy to care about others, and they are driven by an insatiable desire to gain that attention and that admiration from those around them. Therefore, they do prioritise their own needs above all others. Infidelity stems from their sense of entitlement. So they believe they're entitled to cheat. However, with their double standards, they don't believe anyone should cheat on them. A narcissist won't forgive you for the very things they expect you to forgive them for. And they are aware enough that the consequences of people finding out about their behaviour could potentially be very negative towards that narcissist. So they're very willing to hide their behaviour, be very deceptive. And they are also willing to smear people's names, to smear the partner's names. Now, when someone cheats, that is on them. That's their responsibility. That's their behaviour. It's no one else's fault. They made that choice. Yet a narcissistic partner will blame the ex for not being there for them, even though the ex has been there for them, or their current partner has been for them as much as they possibly can. A narcissistic partner will blame their past. They'll blame anything but themselves. So when they suddenly become even more selfish than they already are, so when they promise to do something with you and then let you down because they're going out with so-and-so, and you're trying to work out what on earth is happening because well, we used to go and do this, so we're not doing this. And then they start accusing you of being too demanding and too controlling. So you feel like you need to just shut up and apologise to them, and their behaviour is suddenly not what it used to be. And when you are asking them about what they're doing and where they're going, they have excuses and justifications. They lack the empathy to care how their broken promises are negatively impacting you, because they're too wrapped up in themselves and their own world, which is also with that deception. Narcissistic people excel at the art of deception. They have a heightened ability to manipulate us. They are the masters of creating convincing stories and excuses and justifications about what they're up to and what they're doing. Elaborate stories. So they can suddenly they've never ever worked away in the job that they work for. They've never worked away. Yet all of a sudden their boss requires them to work away from home. And there's a big elaborate story about where they're travelling to the point where some narcissistic people will sit there and barefaced lie in front of your family members too about where they're going and what they're doing. And it just doesn't seem quite right, but you've got nothing to go on, but things just don't seem to add up. And they can still call you at the same point of the day, and they can come home and have an elaborate story about what they got up to. And then they'll tell their friends and family that elaborate story too in front of you to make it more believable. But there's certain things within you that's just not making sense, such as they said they'd earn extra money that they need for the home, and yet that extra money never materialises. So you might begin snooping through their things to find the answers, to which a narcissist is going to accuse you of the one that's got the trust issues. You dare ask them about this, instead of comforting you and explaining to you like a genuine person would, that they're just on a work meeting, so that you can see there's nothing untoward going off and the stories sort of match up and it puts you at ease. A narcissistic person is going to accuse you of being jealous and being insecure, or they're going to make you feel guilty by saying, I'm just trying to earn some extra money for this family and you still don't appreciate me. I can't do right for doing wrong. So you question yourself, because after all, when a narcissist is unjustly accusing you of cheating, which is another sign, the very thing that they're doing to you, and you know you're not, you can get defensive. So when they start accusing you of how you're wearing your hair to impress somebody, the shirt you've put on to impress somebody, going to the gym, who are you trying to impress? When they suddenly start unjustly accusing you of things, it's to deflect away from the truth. And as we know within ourselves, we can get defensive. Another sign of a narcissist is they get incredibly defensive. And when they get incredibly defensive, we can think, that's because we would. They're not coming from the same place we are. They're not running from the same frequency. They're running from their own mindset. They tend to think everybody thinks like them, and we can often think they think like us. They don't. They think about themselves. So they will become incredibly deceptive. If you question them, you don't even have to question them about cheating. You can just ask them what time they're going to be home, where they're going. They turn around and accuse you of trying to control them, because they don't want to answer that simple question. They can't think of that elaborate story on the spot. So you're the one that ends up kind of apologising to them and they continue getting away with their behaviour. Someone who has that continued pattern of dishonesty and inconsistency in their stories, who are frequently secretive about their behaviour, about their whereabouts, about answering simple questions, and you've got that instinct, these are potential signs that they are cheating on you. That unusual defensive behaviour is another defensive sign that they are cheating on you, as well as those unjust accusations, shifting the blame over to you, how everything's your fault all of a sudden, how you're the one that's ruining the relationship. And as people do need to take responsibility for their own behaviour, and as someone who does take responsibility for your own behaviour, you can easily find yourself manipulated into taking responsibility for everything that goes wrong when it's not all your fault. They lack the loyalty, they lack the honesty, they lack the respect. And then they can also have a sudden excessive control over your whereabouts, because in the back of their mind, they know what they're up to, so they're worried that you might be up to the same thing. So they suddenly want to know where you are and what you're doing. They know full well that if they weren't getting the attention that they're not giving to you, they'd be chatting up somebody new. So they want to know where you are and what you're up to. The lack of remorse and guilt. So the simple things like they will promise to do something and then fail to deliver. And when you ask them, there's no remorse, there's no guilt, because they lack the empathy to care about you and how you feel when they've let you down. They're interested in getting their own needs met. When they've planned something with you and they turn up late, there's no apology, because they're that concerned about prioritising themselves and getting their needs met. So they're not interested in you waiting for them. They're interested in getting their needs met. So lack of remorse or lack of guilt for simply letting you down. Most genuine people would ring somebody up and say, hey, I'm just here, I'll be home ASAP. A narcissistic person will suddenly start falling silent on you and not answering their phone and accusing you of being the one that's obsessed. So you feel bad. You're wondering if they're okay and if they're safe, because they said they'd be home at such and such time and they're not. So you just, hey, is everything okay? But they're not picking up their phone, which causes that anxiety within you. And then when they get home, you might actually explode out at them, because you've got that relief that they're safe, but also that frustration that they didn't just let you know. And then they twist it on how, well, it's your fault because you were the one that's been in a mood when they got home. You don't appreciate them coming home. Why would they want to come home when the atmosphere is always like this? Because they don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they're causing that atmosphere, while you do take responsibility and go all out to try and apologise to them. Talking about somebody new, the same sex as you, or the sex that they're interested in. Now they can talk about this kind of person in a positive way. So they suddenly start talking about this person a lot, to the point where it makes you feel icky. And if you say something, they get a kick out of this. They're like, oh, is somebody jealous? And purposely wind you up. Or it can be somebody that's the complete opposite of you. Not opposite in sex, it depends on who they are interested in, but opposite in personality. So if you're quite introverted, it might be someone quite extroverted. If you like to wear suits, it might be somebody who wears joggers. If you like to wear makeup, it might be somebody who doesn't wear makeup. And they start talking extremely negatively of this person, constantly putting them down. It's because they're envious of them and they want them. And usually you'll often find out it's the very person they move in with when they discard you. And another sign is they've got those patterns in previous relationships. They monkey branch from one relationship to the next. There's always that crossover, that pattern of behaviour, or they've simply cheated on you in the past, and they're displaying the same signs. Now, with some narcissistic people, you can explain to them the signs that you know that they're cheating on you from the past. They'll alter their behaviour. So if you know that they cheated on you in the past because they suddenly wouldn't show you their phone, they'll suddenly start deleting all messages and happily show you their phone. They've got that kind of smug look about them. You just know within yourself, and it's very difficult when you don't have the evidence. However, it's time to sort of stop chasing them for the answers and start focusing on you. Start doing the things that you enjoy. If they don't want to tell you what time they're home, start separating yourself emotionally from them. Stop reacting to them. Stop asking them those questions. Books are narcissists when you're no longer interested. And at some point you will discover the truth. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People if you're unable to go no contact, and a Narcissist Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and I shall link those into the description also if you'd like to check them out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.